Part of the reason why I have the triangle, the note up above my character constantly, is so that I know when I'm in control. The little green arrows obviously show you where you can exit as well. Now these rooms, by the way, these are in circle. So if I go this way, I'll come out where I was originally. So I don't need to worry about missing anything. Okay, so he did see me, but he didn't chase after me, because these guards are so smart that they think that if I go to another screen that I must have escaped in some way. These guards tell you about Frugal, who is the head warden. They give you some other information which is not too useful, to be honest. There's another scripted fight here, which you can't avoid. And there will be one later on as well. Well, I say later on, very soon. I should go back to the addition screen from Sting that show you Levitz's. Well, I won't be showing you all his additions. Yes. But it'll show you that Levitz actually has a lower selection of additions. I see still no questions. That's okay. Yeah, you can't go many places here. So you just go up here. See, these guards are so perceptive about their surroundings. I don't know why they would be leaving a key lying around either. It's as if they were letting them find everything. See, how do they know it's the key to Shana's cell, rather than just another random cell in the dungeon? Oh, I wasn't paying attention there, didn't realise I was back in control. On this screen, if you're not quick enough, enemies do appear out of the various exits. Now, I should normally go down to where I need to go, but I'm going to go this way, so I can go in and get some items, well, get the pickups sooner. It's just small items. I think this is 20G? Yeah, 20G. Normally I would have just come up from the top instead of the bottom. But other than that, this scene is exactly the same. Yeah, I'm changing the camera. Get a better camera angle behind. The reason why I do that is because the way it zooms in for the additions changes depending on the camera angle. I forgot to show you Levitz's additions. I will get onto that after this fight and the scene that follows it. So yes, I am defending with Dark quite a lot. That's because they decided to keep attacking him. Okay, Dark finally gets an attack. The addition system, by the way, for those who have joined recently and didn't see earlier, it's a simple matter of pressing the button when your attack hits. The square that comes up on screen is just another thing to help you time it. So just hit it when the square overlaps, basically.
Double slash.
These people also like shouting out their combos, as you can tell. Okay, we've rescued Shana, and we're using that key, which somehow we knew would threaten her cell. I'm just opening my pack of Skittles, because I like Skittles. These are wild berry flavour, for those who care, and I suppose for those who don't care as well. Don't worry, I won't be chewing them loudly. I will be simply doing one at a time, just so I've got a bit of flavour in my mouth. Being that they're so small as well, I can put them to the side of my mouth and talk if needed. I realise it's rude to talk with food in your mouth. But being it's so small, does it really matter? If you guys obviously disagree with me and think it's very rude and don't want me to eat while I'm streaming, I will try and resist. Now comes another fight, and after this fight I can then show you Levitz's additions. Or what he would get as additions. He currently only has Harpoon, which is his equivalent of Double Slash but with the lance.
Yes! Double slash!
the additions, especially later on, the timing gets quite strict, or what seems to be quite strict in their attacks. It's mainly because of the preceding attack is also quite hard to get. So if you miss that preceding attack, or you get it just on, you miss the next one. You'll probably see me miss a few, especially later on in the game. Still not much talk in the chat. I guess no one has any questions?
Yes! Double lash!
There's not much to say in this battle, as you can tell. It's just another battle with the same enemies that we've seen so many times before already. Sorry, I was just trying to reach for a drink. Thought I would get it before the next turn. Obviously not. There we go. I like how the finishing is on this. It zooms in on the character that got the finishing blow, but everyone does their winning pose. It's nice and simple. Sorry if I gulp loudly when I'm sipping. Or drinking, not sipping. You didn't miss much, it was just going through. I gave a bit of a tutorial on additions again for those who had missed it earlier. I'm about to, after this scene, I'm about to go into the menu to show more about additions. Earlier we saw that Dart had a total of 7 additions. I did ask earlier, I guess you were eating when I asked, if you had any fun facts about the game, feel free to post them. Try not to post any spoilers, so only, if possible, if it's a fact that would be a spoiler, only post it after that point in the story. Frugal's probably the kindest head warden ever. I say that sarcastically. Which area are those in? I don't know if they're chests that I've missed. If you're talking about the 3... Are there 3? No, I can only think of 2. There's 2 in the forest. If you're talking about the ones in the dungeon as well, they're not necessarily hard to find, they're just out of the way. The next 2 areas. Ah, yes, I do know of... I know of one in the next area. The others you may have to point out to me when I get there. But in the next area, the prairie, I know of one. That I'll show you when we get to it, rather than explaining it. let's get into this room first. Get the item, and then I'll show you the menu. So, going back to additions. As you can see, Dart has a total of 7, currently he only has 2. Levitz can get a total of 5, currently has 1. Shana cannot use additions. Now, replace would normally be me choosing my party members, but being that these are the only 3 characters, I can't choose them. I picked up a leather jacket earlier, going to equip that on Shana because obviously she needs it. You only found that out a week ago? Okay. Okay, well, leaving the dungeon now. Slightly weaker than I could be by the time I exit this. No. I don't tend to buy things on this game. However, as a safety precaution, I always buy an angel's prayer here. I don't know what it is, but I've found that every time I don't buy one, I seem to get unlucky and need to use more than the one that you get naturally at this point. Here we go to the boss fight. Yeah. Another thing about the next area that I want to point out, I've pointed this out before to people, and I'm pointing it out again. There is something that happens which is often associated with Skyrim. Red Wildberry Skittle. I wonder what flavour that is. Probably strawberry or raspberry. Tastes more of a raspberry. Okay, boss fight. This is the first true boss fight. Well, technically the second of the game. It's the first one I consider to be the first true boss fight. Fairly easy. Get the camera behind. Just simply attack them, the guards, until they die. And then attack the other guards until they die. Now, I could work on building additions here by not letting Shana attack. Because Shana, with the exception of extra damage, isn't really useful in battle at the moment. She doesn't get anything from fighting. Yeah, she's doing 5 damage, but that's all she does. She doesn't get anything from that attack. Whereas Dart and Levitz get experience for that addition. Now that's an example of a multi-attack. That enemy did more than just the first stage. he was doing the effective similarity that we would do of constantly mashing X to power that up.
Yes! Double slash!
He's gonna call some allies in a minute.
Harpoon!
And when he does, we're gonna then kill those off. Makes it a bit easier because then we're taking less damage. We can still start attacking him again, but we're not going to. So we're going to go with the senior wardens.
Yes! Double slash!
Now these enemies attack you when they die. I don't know if Shana will be powerful enough to kill him. Yes. So all they're doing is throwing an attack item, which is fire on all enemies. As you can see, it did quite a lot of damage to the bits there. Levitz is probably going to have to defend on his turn here. Yeah, so is Dark. Shano can chip away at the health. Get it down. She's not going to do much damage, but she can get it down at least. Ready for, well, to simply get rid of him. Nice and easy. Simple as that. I think she's probably in yellow now. Oh no, not quite. Again, I mentioned this earlier. My general strategy is defend if they're in yellow, use a healing item if they're in red. It's a very basic strategy. It works a lot for random battles and some of the early boss fights. In later boss fights you will need to use more tactics, like using certain features which you gain later in the game, which I'm not going to spoil right now, although you may already have worked it out. Most likely have worked it out, to be fair. But I still won't mention it because of spoilers.
Yes! Double slash!
Starts not doing much damage, and he's taken quite a bit of damage because he is weaker than what he could be. If I was fighting everything, he would at least be one level higher than he currently is. But as you saw, I tried to do it like a stealth mission. Which probably means I'll need to use a healing item soon. In fact, right now. I suppose by being weaker in this fight, it does mean you get to attack a bit more. Here we go, let's see his immense damage to Levitz. Probably 26, I think it was last time. 26. on to Frugal. He doesn't summon any more allies.
Double slash.
It really is just, at this point, a simple matter of attacking him until he dies. Now, I know Shana is in yellow, but I'm using her to heal Levit because that way I can use Levit to attack and gain some experience in his edition. Shana will likely get another turn before Frugal anyway, at which point she can then defend. Okay, so she didn't, but she wasn't one attacked, so it's not caused a problem. This is a fairly slow fight.
Double slash.
Just by naming the elements. I did go through elements earlier. Each character, all of your party have an element assigned to them, and enemies have elements assigned. So Frugal, in this case, he's got a brown bar which shows he's Earth. So we know that he is weak against wind, strong against earth. Sorry, I've got hiccups. At the moment, I'm just doing non-elemental attacks to him, so they're just doing their normal damage. That is really hurting. If Shana gets a turn before Dart, I'll be using her to heal. And I've been using a lot more healing items than I thought I would be. In fact, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to risk attacking with Dart and hope that Shana gets a turn next. It's probably a bad idea. Oh no, it was okay. Yeah, you saw when I was highlighting them, Dart had a red bar because he's fire. Levitz is wind, which is equivalent to green. You can generally tell by their clothes their element. Shana is light. You can see that the colour arrow of selector on the enemy as well has changed colour on Frugal. It's now turned to yellow to show that he's got less than half health now. And when he gets to 25% health, that is going to turn red. So you've got a fairly good indication of how close you are to defeating an enemy.
Double slash.
This goes back to the basics of the game. It really is a basic game. When you bring it down to its, I can't really think of how to describe it, but it's such a simple game, which is why it's so good, in my opinion. There we go, and boss fight complete.